Hey everyone, and welcome to the Thursday edition of the Bulk Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, Mario Heron. Again, talking Chargers as we get ready for now the 2025 season. Now that the Super Bowl's out and we move forward and we get ready to see what's next for this team and this roster. Everybody has an opinion. Like everybody wants to play GM, wants to play head coach of what you would do right now to make their roster better. Not just with the Chargers, but the other 31 teams as well. Even the Eagle fans, I guarantee, even though they won the Super Bowl a few days ago, are thinking, okay, what's next? You know, and Chiefs fans are thinking, hey, it kind of sucked losing. How do we get back to this thing and win it? What changes do we need to make? Everyone is doing the same thing if you're an NFL fan. By the way, ratings for the Super Bowl, insane through the roof, right? The NFL doesn't disappoint. Highest rated Super Bowl of all time. We don't expect anything different as this game continues to grow. To my point of what we were talking about last week when we said, hey, what did you think of the halftime show? And their difference of opinions, and you see so many people that disliked it. They were not marketing to you. This is my point. Ratings are gigantic for this sport. They are marketing to people younger than you. Guess what? They already have you. They don't need to market to you. They're marketing to the next generation of people to make sure they are football fans. Whether you're going to play the sport as a kid or not, they want to make sure that you're locked in, because everywhere you go in the world, when people say, what is your team? They know you're talking about the NFL. If you're from the United States, you're talking about the NFL. So you say to anyone who's an American, what's your team? It's always an NFL team. It's never someone's going to fire back with, man, I'm a big Memphis Grizzlies fan. Who? It's not that team. Do you guys understand how that works? It's the NFL. The NFL is king. Look, I love baseball, but the NFL is king, and that's the way it goes. So before we get into roster moves and everything else, we got to get an update from Josh, as Josh was a pro, man. It was a pro's pro. Went through the entire food challenge and above. Only had to eat 15, a total of 15 with hot dogs and tacos and hard-boiled eggs. He went to 18, and yet he knocked all that out in 11 minutes. How'd it work out for you when the show ended, Josh?
So when the show ended, I felt fine, and I was talking crap to my wife. Like, you see that S? You see that S? Oh, I just did that in 15 minutes. I'm a beast, like talking crap. And I felt good. And our routine here is like once we both finish work, which I'm done with work by the time I do this. But by the time she's done with work, we go to the gym. So, got our stuff ready, heading out to the gym. And I'm like, hold up, wait a second. Something's not right. I don't feel very good. So I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. So I wasn't prepared what was about to happen. So I go to the bathroom, and it was just a lot. Let's just put it like I was just there for a while, and I was down and out. Didn't think I was going to make it to the gym, but I rallied because I knew I had to go to the gym. Well, if you eat that much food, you got to go to the gym. You got to do something. It's so freaking cold outside in Nashville. I'm not going to walk around the block. So I'm like, I got to go to the gym. I go, finish it out. I felt sick kind of the whole time at the gym, but I did it. And I'm good today. But 2 hours ish after the challenge, I thought I was going to die.
Now, was it liquid? Was it a little thicker? How was it running on you?
Dude, what are we doing here?
Just curious. Just
What are you, a proctologist? What are we doing?
Big word.
If you've seen the movie Austin Powers, it was something like that.
Well, it's a lot of protein intake. So
I would not have gone to the gym, just so you know.
Started.
If you got sick at home, why would you take a chance of going out in public? Like, why don't you
can't
take this day off?
You're banned from it.
Banned. It's just frowned upon the way I behave.
I know. I understand. I was like, I took a chance. I took a risk. I wore black shorts just in case.
Just smart play. Smart play.
Come on.
Anyways,
going off of what Dave said about everybody playing GM in the offseason, that's one of the most fun things about being a fan, right? We can all put in our opinions. We can follow the rumors on X and Instagram, what people think are going to happen. There's two receivers, Mario, that keep getting rumored as possible Chargers: Davante Adams and Tyreek Hill. Out of the two, which one do you want?
So it's tough to kind of pick between these two guys, but I will say this. I know he's 2 years older, but I would take Davante Adams, actually, because of just the type of receiver he is. I think the state of he's in his career, with how familiar he is with the division, I would take all of that. I think Tyreek Hill brings a lot of issues. I don't know if he fits exactly that well in our offense either. And look, you can say whatever you want about Davante Adams this past year. He still had over 1,000 receiving yards. His reception percentage was actually the highest since his Green Bay days. You can say, oh, it's because of Aaron Rodgers. You guys saw Aaron Rodgers play this past year? Okay, so did I. He's still got some left in the tank. Still had 8 touchdowns this year. I think he can still be pretty valuable to this team, Dave. I think if I had to choose between those two players, I would take Davante Adams 10 times out of 10.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, honest to God, I would take Davante Adams. Again, he wants to be in California. Their Chargers are one of the teams on his list that he mentioned. He wants to be in California. He's a veteran. He's a pro's pro, as we like to use that expression. But at the same time, he's not a guy off the field that does crazy things, right? He's not Tyreek Hill. He's not a guy that you have to worry about. Yeah, every wide receiver wants the ball thrown his way, right? Doesn't matter who you are, you're going to want the ball. I mean, we've seen it from everybody. We've seen it from Debo. We've seen it from A.J. Brown. We've seen it from everyone. Davante Adams obviously kept his mouth quiet for a long time with the Raiders when things were bad. He goes through a worse situation with the Jets. This is a winning culture with the Chargers. I think Davante Adams would fit in great with this organization. You get him on the cheap. I mean, you aren't going to have to pay Davante Adams a ton. You also aren't going to have to give up draft picks. He's not going to kill your salary cap. At the same time, you get that veteran. He's better than, let's say, even the talks of Keenan Allen coming back. I'm all for Davante Adams being a Charger. I mean, forget about all that Pop-Tart stuff that was lame about a year ago. But hey, let's bring him back. Whatever you did, hey, it's all good right now. Justin Herbert needs him. And we're going to get into the Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts thing because this is the conversation that won't go away. People are so goddamn frustrated with Josh. Is insane. We'll get into that in today's show. I don't want the show to close without touching on this. But going back to what Mario said, 10 out of 10, I'm taking Davante Adams over Tyreek Hill. Now, am I saying Davante's a better player than Tyreek Hill? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is it's not $30 million. It's not a ton of draft picks, and it's not a punk coming into your locker room. There's so many negatives with Tyreek Hill. That's why I'd stay away from him.
I also would stay away from Tyreek Hill because he's small, and we already have a small receiver in Ladd McConkey. We need a bigger body receiver. Davante Adams isn't huge, but he's a much bigger person than Tyreek Hill. I agree with Dave. I would take, and Mario, I agree with both of them. I would take Davante Adams 10 out of 10 times over Tyreek Hill. Not only does Tyreek Hill have off-the-field issues that none of us are fond of, I just think he's on the back nine. I know he's probably better than Davante Adams, I'd say right now, but I'd rather have the upside with Davante Adams of being a better person off the field. He's probably going to be there. He's going to love to play with Justin Herbert. And you need to get a receiver in free agency, Mario, because there's not many good ones in the draft. If I'm the Chargers, I'm locking in on 2 positions really in the draft in that first round, tight end or guard or center. I mean, guard and center I think is interchangeable. One of those and then tight end. So that's where I put my attention. There's not many good receivers in this draft. Davante Adams is a must-have if there's nobody else to get, right? Chris Godwin could be another guy we end up with, but you have to get a receiver in free agency because I cannot see the Chargers going first-round receiver again.
No, I don't think they do at all. And, in order to get Davante, it'd be not similar to Tyreek, but more likely that'd be a trade because New York Jets are probably going to shop him around after cutting ties with Rodgers. And they won't cut him, I believe, until after June 1st because of money-wise, it's cheaper for them. So it'd be after that. And then they're probably going to shop around Davante if there's no trade suitors, which I doubt there's going to be. And also, Dave, I can't imagine the price is going to be that insanely high. He's 32 years old. What are you going to ask for? You're going to ask for a first-round pick? Kiss my ass. You're not getting a first. You barely get a third.
Yeah. A third. Honest to God, at his age, you're looking at about a 5 or 6, 7, somewhere in there.
Exactly. And by the way, take it if you're in New York. This is the mode you're in. You're in a rebuild mode. You're not in a win now mode anymore. That ship has sailed.
Highlight this comment right here from Roland. Okay. He says, Adams is a locker room wrecker. He is a me guy and not a team type player. 100% disagree. You're right about the situation with the Raiders. He was a me guy. He had no quarterback. He had no leadership from the head coach, and the organization was a failure. Let's go to the Chargers. Great quarterback, great head coach. Organization looks pretty good right now. I think Adams would fit in suit. He would love to play for a guy like Jim Harbaugh, who is from the same exact area as Davante Adams. They went to the same high school. No, I don't think it was the same graduating class. Do you know if they were the same graduating class, Mario? Anyways,
True.
They went to the same high school, and I think
Adams and Harbaugh.
I'm joking.
We've been a smartass. What the hell are you talking about?
They went to Palo Alto High School.
Receiver.
Same high school as Jock Peterson. Anyways, I think he'd be great as a Charger because he'd follow suit with Jim Harbaugh. He'd love to play with Justin Herbert. And the Chargers organization is on the way up. The Raiders are on the way down, and so are the Jets.
I echo everything that you said there. And I don't think Adams is that big, like that much drama. Like I really don't think so. I think he got caught in just two back-to-back really bad scenarios. Like got caught with the bad one in the Raiders where he thought he's reuniting with his best friend with Derek Carr, and they thought they had Josh McDaniels and they're gonna live happily ever after, and ended up being a disaster. Green Bay didn't treat him like the best in the end. He goes to New York, where again he thought he'd meet up with one of his best buds and Aaron Rodgers. They would turn the season around. They'd make a playoff run. Doesn't happen well at all. Doesn't work out. And now he's sitting there going, "I don't have a lot of great football on me left. I haven't played with two great quarterbacks. I'd say they're good, not great, and I want to win a title. And if you are looking at spots where one, you can get a good amount of receptions, a good amount of targets." And compete for for a Super Bowl. Los Angeles Chargers is on that list, Dave. I think our biggest competitions, honestly, in getting him is the Buffalo Bills. And I expect them to be pretty aggressive about it. But if it's a trade option, you think the New York Jets are going to trade him to Buffalo? No shot.
No, it's tough. So see other people who agree. Say Adams is a guy that wrecks the locker room. Here, I'll defend Adams right now on this whole deal. He went to the Raiders, which was his childhood team, and he was lied to. He was straight out lied to. Has anyone ever gone and taken a job where they were promised this and that, and then they didn't follow through on anything? Whether it was the parking space in front of the building, to benefits, to vacation time, to whatever. We all have. We've all gone to a job think it was going to be better than it was, and they lied to us. And then you have to make a decision. Do I want out? I thought Davante Adams stayed quiet for a long time. I mean, Max Crosby for a long time has stayed quiet too. All of a sudden you're hearing rumblings, but Max Crosby hasn't demanded a trade either. The Raiders are a disaster of organization and have been for a long time. I'm not just talking about the wins and losses. I'm just talking about the foundation's a mess. That's why Tom Brady is such a big voice, because they have no idea what to do. Mark Davis doesn't know what to do. I'm sorry, Carr is not good. He just isn't. And look, he might be his best friend from Fresno State, but he knew he wasn't good either. And every quarterback the Raiders have brought in while Davante Adams was there was garbage. Aaron Rodgers is a shadow of himself. As much as we goof on Aaron Rodgers, his last 10 games this year weren't terrible. Crazy news, as you heard reported today on at a Fox Sports, saying that the Rams are ready to trade Matthew Stafford to the Giants for the third pick. Kind of crazy, right? So remember we just spoke about Stafford's wife who basically had to run her mouth like, I double dog dare you to trade my husband. We aren't happy you're getting rid of his best friend, Cooper Kupp. Well, hey, you can blame your husband for not throwing him the damn ball, because Cooper Kupp ended a lot of games with 0 receptions and doing nothing. He wasn't throwing the ball in his direction because he couldn't get open. So just 2 days ago, we're talking about it. If Stafford goes to the Giants, Fox Sports is saying that Aaron Rodgers goes to the Rams. Kind of nuts. Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers is in the Rams and Davante Adams is with the Chargers in the same stadium? Kind of wild, right? So here's the deal. Going back to the original conversation that we just brought up, all three of us are for Davante Adams over Tyreek Hill. I know it sounds crazy because we understand Tyreek's a better overall player right now. If you're doing fantasy football, you're drafting Tyreek Hill first by far. I got it. But for what the Chargers are doing and everybody to stay basically pulling the rope in the same direction, Davante Adams is more that guy, in my opinion, than Tyreek Hill is.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think Ladd McConkey had a good season his rookie year, numbers wise?
Amazing season,
pretty good.
Thought he overachieved, and a lot was asked of him. Yeah,
Davante Adams and Ladd McConkey have the same numbers. Look it up. Had the same numbers last year. Would you want another Ladd McConkey on your team? A guy that can put up
how
the
many
same
games
stat?
did Davante miss last year?
Last year, Davante played
3.
Yeah,
Top of my
played
head.
last year. Davante Adams, 14 games, 85 receptions, 1,063 yards, 8 touchdowns. Ladd McConkey, 16 games, 82 catches, 1,149 yards, 7 touchdowns. I don't know, man. I'm not very good at math, but if there's nobody else in free agency, you got to end up with somebody. Okay, it's either Davante Adams or Josh Palmer. What are we talking about here? We're not going to get a receiver in the draft. And if you do look at the draft, what's one of the positions they're very, very heavy at this year? Tight end. You got to end up with at least one tight end in this draft. That's going to happen. I think the Chargers, Mario, end up with multiple tight ends the way that this is shaking out. And if they don't get a tight end, like I said a second ago, you have to go guard or center. You have to focus on what you can get in this draft. And if you have a guy like Davante Adams that you can grab to go along with Ladd McConkey, I think you have to do it.
And remember, like Davante Adams sat out for a little bit with the Raiders before asking for that trade. Do you remember that? We had that discussion. Is he hurt?
Yeah,
Is he actually hurt? Yeah. So, if he plays in those games, his numbers are better, if we're being honest. And if he has a quarterback that, could actually throw the football, that would help him too in that factor. I hope the Chargers, for the sake of a joke, there was like a couple years ago, I think it was 2019. The Bears had 9 tight ends on roster. Let's just do that for the Chargers, Dave. Like, let's just get like 9 to 10 tight ends and just rack it up.
That's a
like,
crazy
why
thing
not?
ever.
Isn't that crazy? It was the funniest thing. There was like a video of like of them warming up in training camp, and it was, oh my god, it looked like a basketball team. Like they had the tight end position. It's like, dude, what are we doing?
Dude, the Padres do that with catchers. You're like, what the hell? Why do you need so many catchers on one team? That's bizarre. So another wide receiver, obviously, rumor is that he could be out is Debo. Debo could be out for the Niners. Again, he's going to ask for the moon, and he's a guy that misses a lot of time. He's hurt all the time, runs his mouth a lot. Is Debo a guy? And again, he's not the only receiver who complains. A.J. Brown, man, we all know the issues in Philadelphia with A.J. Brown. Is Debo a person that you'd want to see the Chargers go out of their way to try and pull off a deal?
What do you think, Mario?
I'm out on the Debo. I'm okay. There's things about Debo that kind of concern me. Anytime a guy like Kyle Shanahan is done, that worries me, because that's not a dumb guy in this league. That's a very respected voice that say, no, we're actually good to move on. Yeah, we're good on you. And it's like, wait, what? Why are you? This is weird. You seem pretty eager to let him go. And you're like, oh, he was an all-pro receiver. He's this, he's that. He's, a unique weapon. He played running back too if you want him. But why is one of the best organizations in football saying goodbye to him? That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if he'd work inside the Chargers offense. For those reasons, I would be, and the injury history would concern me a little bit with him too. I would be a little nervous entering the Debo sweepstakes, Dave.
Yeah, I'm out on Debo. I tell you where I was out on Debo this is when I was in on Debo was after that playoff game against the Cowboys a few years ago when he won the game by himself. He did it all. If you didn't know who Debo Samuel was at the time, everybody walked away and go, who is number 19? He has since changed his number to number 1, but at that time you're going, who is this guy? He does it all, man. He runs the ball, he catches the ball, he is a weapon, he is fast, he has a weird looking body, the whole deal. But he won the game for the Niners at Dallas. And so you're going, okay, this guy's a superstar. Right after that game, what does he do when the season's over? I'm not running the ball anymore. I'm not. Pay me as a big-time wide receiver, man. He goes, I'm not doing that. As a football fan, and it might sound callous because I don't have a kid and I'm not the one doing it in the NFL, dude, I want you to leave it all out there on the field. Like, honestly, and that sounds terrible to say when you talk about everything that goes into injuries in the NFL. It doesn't matter, okay? As I said before, the NFL, let's be honest, it's like the movie Gladiator. We're all buying tickets to the Coliseum to watch guys out there basically try and win. And you fight with everything you have. And so for Debo not to be that ultimate team player and not do what he can to help the team out and say, man, guess what? It is about that bank account. It is about everything I can do that's about me. The fact you changed your number to number 1 shows you it is all about you. You know what I mean? Like 19's not even good enough. I need to be number 1 on my jersey and in the stands. So I'm not a Debo fan. I don't think he fits what Jim Harbaugh does. Now, can Jim Harbaugh get the most out of him? Of course he probably could. But he's not worth the gamble for me. I think Davante Adams, and I know people in the chat are going to disagree with me. I think Davante Adams is a better fit for this team for a lot less you have to give up than what Debo is. And I don't know when Debo's actually hurt. That's another bad thing to question on any pro athlete. Are you really hurt? Because it seems like you're hurt when it benefits you to be hurt.
There's something going on with Debo if Kyle Shanahan wants to ship him. I agree with Mario. I would stay away from Debo. Honestly, I would take Tyreek Hill over Debo Samuel. That's why I put Debo right now. Dave nailed it. In 2021, Debo was everything. He was the guy that played receiver when he needed him to play receiver. He had 1,400 yards. He'd play running back. He'd do it as good as anybody, and he was a beast. Then he said, like Dave said, I want to be paid as a receiver. career totally took a dump. He hasn't been the same player since. It's been 3 years in a row where you've questioned if Deebo Samuel is an actual legit receiver. Going into this season, we said Brandon Ayuk, who was terrible, is definitely better than Deebo Samuel. Why would you want to trade anything for that guy? I'm off Deebo Samuel. I'll say it again. The person that I put all my eggs in one basket for, if I'm going to trade for anybody, it's going to be Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is a beast. I don't know what his trade value is. I don't know what the Jets are asking for, but if I'm the Chargers, I'm seriously considering Garrett Wilson. He is a guy that will step in and be wide receiver 1 without a doubt.
God, I love Garrett Wilson. I'm also just curious if the Jets want to go full sell or they're just going to try to unload the guys that are just low on the older side, like they're doing with Rodgers and Adams. I'm curious how that whole situation shakes up because obviously they got to go into that rebuilding direction. I think too by the Niners kind of smart in a way to kind of get off Deebo because they just nail the draft a lot of the time. And they have such a good enough system where Brandon Ayuk now can kind of take a step forward with them. They have who's the kid that they got this past season that ended up looking solid towards the end? I'm blanking on his name, but they have got Purcell. Yeah, Purcell. What speech impediments kicking in here, fellas. But no, so I'm curious what happens with them. Is there any other moves, Dave, that you kind of see the Chargers making, or you'd want them to kind of lean towards as we enter the days before the NFL draft?
First of all, a couple things. One is everybody's for sale, right? In the NFL, if the deal's right, everybody's for sale. Who do we love on Cincinnati? Ask Luka. Who do we love for Cincinnati, right? Josh, who's the defensive end? Trey Hendrickson, right? Yeah. We love him. Dude, honest to God, I want to know what's going to happen. So the Bengals today, their linebacker Pratt just announced that, hey, I want to be traded. He's in the final year of a 3-year contract. He wants out. People aren't happy ever in Cincinnati. T. Higgins, look, I don't think the Chargers are going to get T. Higgins. Right now, the market for T. Higgins is insane. There's not a team in the NFL that he's not rumored to be going to. All right, it's going to be too much for T. Higgins. As much of a dream as it would be, I don't think it's going to happen. But everybody is for sale somewhere. What are the Chargers are going to need? They're going to need help on that defensive line. They're going to need edge rushers. We spoke 2 days ago about how quality teams are basically, making sure their offensive line from a middle out is the way you want to build out. It used to be out to in, right? You make sure your tackles are there. That's what the Chargers have done. But the Chargers' interior offensive line was brutal. The Chiefs' interior offensive line wasn't good in the Super Bowl. You saw how the Eagles were able to do everything with just a 4-man rush, no blitzes. The Chargers need some help, right? Joey Bosa's probably gone. Khalil Mack, who knows if he's coming back. Dupree's, not a threat. Thule's about the only guy that you have right there. But I would love to see them if we can pull off a deal for an elite defensive end. I'm not talking TJ Watt. I'm not talking Myles Garrett because there's a rumor in The Athletic today that has Myles Garrett would be a perfect fit for the Chargers. And what it would take would be Rashawn Slater and a high draft pick. Well, Jim Harbaugh doesn't want to do that move, right? There's a reason why he set up Joe Alt as his other tackle, saying how important it is to protect Justin Herbert on both sides. I am curious to know what the Chargers could possibly do, but I'm sure the GMs pick up the phone all the time. We just aren't privy to it. But at the same time, I would like to see them get a guy that we're all aware of how great he is. I mean, does Simmons have anything left in Tennessee, Josh? I mean, you're in Nashville. I mean, the Titans aren't going anywhere. You're kind of wasting Simmons' career right there. Does he have anything left that you'd say, hey, he's willing to make a trade?
Jeffrey Simmons would be a dream come true for Charger fans. You talk about guys who are untouchable on this team. I believe, tell me if I'm wrong with any of these people. You got Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, and then I would love Derwin James to be a Charger for life, and then everybody else can go. That's how I feel about everybody on the roster right now. If anybody wants to talk Rashawn Slater, I'm not going to entertain that. But if you can get any other of these great players for less, I'd consider it. Myles Garrett is somebody I wouldn't take because the asking price is too damn high. I'm not trading Rashawn Slater, multiple first-round picks, anything like that. But Jeffrey Simmons would definitely be a guy I would want as a Charger fan.
The Myles Garrett price, too, you could run in a dangerous spot where maybe a team that's getting pretty desperate right now can really drive up that price. So, like, if you're the Chargers and you're like, yeah, we would like to have Garrett, we don't really need it. Whereas you could have a team Giants, I could just get a little bit desperate. Like, like that could really swing thing for us. And if you're the GM of the Giants, who I can look to, the Bills, they can go over there and go, hey, look what we just got. This is a game-changing, trade for us. That could really hurt you, man. And I rather stay out of that business and keep doing what they're doing and just keep growing from within. And it's been in the chat multiple times, but we still got to figure out what's going on in an interior line. And if we can get that figured out, I'd rather kind of focus on that. Like you said, it's not like our guys can't draft. We don't have Tom Telesco in there anymore. Our guys can draft. Our guys can find the diamond in the rust. So we don't need to go, shopping all the time. We got something cooking. We got guys that can go find the right person, Dave. So that's kind of sit on that.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So, again, as you look to see what direction the Chargers are going to go, I think the Chargers, kind of what Mario said. I think a lot of things are going to go through the draft. All right. So let me read to you. I'm gonna give you guys a few of these right here, as far as some of these mock drafts. Okay, and we'll do this often, obviously leading into the draft. You tell me if you like it, don't like it. Okay. USA Today has Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think?
He's a beast.
Okay. So you're fine going into your offensive line. Mario, you fine?
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I think he can really make things a lot better. 427 true snaps. Snaps as a true freshman at left and right guard in 2022 at Bama. Say less.
Okay. The 33rd team, whatever that is. Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas. That's who they want.
You ever heard of the 33rd team?
I haven't, dude. Sorry.
Really?
No, I haven't.
They're like a up and coming media outlet. A lot of PFF guys went over there.
All right. Well, not up and coming over here because I never heard of them.
No, I don't want Marcus or Golden, whatever his first name is, from Texas. That's a no for me.
Okay. It's Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas.
Good for him.
All right. Mario, do you want a wide receiver with the number 22 pick?
I wouldn't hate it.
Okay.
I got to do a bigger deep dive on these receiver prospects, but I wouldn't hate Matthew Golden.
Okay. ESPN has Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan.
Thumbs up.
I said that earlier. This guy got screwed because he didn't have a quarterback that could throw past 12 yards. This guy's a really good freaking player. He'll be like kind of Kittle was at Iowa, where they never pass the ball because they're allergic to it and they're a bunch of dumb idiots that only believe in the I formation. But they you get that guy out there, bro. I almost cussed. He can catch and he can move a little bit.
There's two tight ends in this draft that have first round grades. He's one of them. If you end up with him or Tyler Warren from Penn State, you have to be on cloud nine. There's actually like 8 or 9 tight ends that could start day one for some NFL teams. You can be happy with Loveland in the first, maybe Arroyo later on. There's a bunch of tight ends. So I'm all for getting a tight end in the first round.
It'd be so funny if Harbaugh took the guy from Penn State, if they're both there, right?
Like he's a beast.
He would.
Dude, that guy is so good.
He goes against the guy he recruited, kind of like, Pete Carroll did. Remember that in Seattle?
It's like in the movie Miracle when they had the 2 goalies and he benches the guy that he coached in college. And he goes, "You're going to bench a guy that won you a national championship?" Because, have you seen that guy when he's on? That's Harbaugh. He'd be like, "Yeah, I don't give 2 craps. I recruited him." Yeah, I told his mother I love him. And guess what? I ain't picking him.
Yeah. All right. Fantasy Life says Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, Michigan.
I just have my heart set on a guard or center or tight end. If it's defensive tackle, obviously I would take that too. I think people are putting too much stock into these Michigan players. Besides Colston Loveland, I really don't know if the Chargers are going to take anybody else from Michigan. Everybody wants to say any player from Michigan is going to go to the Chargers. But like you guys just said, Jim Harbaugh, I don't think cares. I mean, he's told his own son to go to Seattle as a special teams coach. He does not care.
Yeah,
I think on top of that too, Jesse Minter runs that defense, and that a lot of those defensive guys returned last year for Michigan, and even though they weren't very good, their defense was still studs. Wouldn't surprise me, but wouldn't be high on my list either.
No, it's so funny that here we are saying we're looking for a guard. Like I would never have guessed 2 years ago. I hope the Chargers draft a guard in the first round. It's boring, but man, I hate to say it, it's winning football. that offensive line. I mean, you saw it. You saw it from what the Eagles do to destroy you. You know, imagine if the Eagles played the Chargers in the Super Bowl this year, it would have been worse. Like those 4 guys would have just put a beating on our interior offensive line. Would have had zero chance. It was our weak spot in the entire year. All right, last one. Pro Football Network has Mike Green, edge rusher from Marshall.
No, we're not going edge rusher in the first round. Who put this out there?
That was gotta go back to that was Pro Football Network.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. I'm ripping to shreds after this. We're not going edge in the first round.
Watch him turn into Khalil Mack. You're going to keep this clip. It's going to be like Khalil Mack. Nobody heard about him until right before the draft, and then all of a sudden he has a Hall of Fame career.
I'm sure he's good if he's projected in the first round. We just have bigger needs than edge. Edge is a need of the Chargers, but like you said, if we can't block anybody or stop anybody up the middle on defense, how are we going to win games? Like I don't know, man. I'm not going edge.
Led the NCAA in sacks, and he blew everybody away at the Senior Bowl. That was everyone's takeaways. This guy is legit. He beat everyone in one-on-ones. It was the known fact that he is the best player, one of the best players there at the Senior Bowl. Look, if they got him, I'd be really excited because I think he's going to be an exceptional talent, and I think he's going to be a dog for us. If they go that route, I'd be very surprised. Like we talked about earlier, I think they're going to go guard. But Mike Green, dude, watch out for that guy, man. He's going to be so freaking good in this league.
All right.
Yeah, man. I mean, all those guys from Marshall on the Eagles, they killed it in the Super Bowl. They were great. Who's next?
You can't play that game always, though.
No, Mike Green was good, dude. When he played against Memphis in that one game, did you watch that one? What about Liberty? He tore up Liberty.
17.
That game?
Yeah, well, 17. Well, Randy Moss still ended up being pretty good in the league, and he played at Marshall. So,
yeah, but he didn't have a choice. He tried to go to Notre Dame and Florida State. They kicked him out. It wasn't like that was the only school to give him a shot.
So, and he's
Marshall's
still dominating.
Give him a shot.
Okay, so just by this theory, so if you lead the nation in sacks, if you blow everyone apart at the Senior Bowl that played for the Michigan, the Penn States, the Alabamas, will you beat all of them up, and then you're still not very good? You still don't.
No, my point is it's a gamble. If you're a GM, it's a gamble because if he doesn't come through, it's one of those things that goes against you big time on the resume of going, hey, let's talk about this new contract and maybe why we don't want you here anymore because you drafted a guy to Marshall. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. I mean, it is a gamble. We kind of talked about it a couple days ago. I mean, it's tough. It's not like the old Bobby Beathard days where you find a guy like Darrell Green because not every college football game was on television. Every game, you can find every college team now on TV every week. There's scouts everywhere. I'm not saying this guy's not great. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, but Mario, what if he isn't? Then you have Joe Ortiz. You got to explain how you keep your job.
But the MVP was also from Wyoming. So.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen,
but
there are a lot more scrubs that don't go to Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia than the other way around. You know what I mean?
Here's why I'm against it. Okay. And for you guys want to talk crap about Khalil Mack going to Buffalo and Josh Allen going to Wyoming, let me give you some reasons. One, edge is not our biggest need. That should be the first reason.
I do agree with that.
Okay. Edge is not the biggest need on the team. Two, what does an edge rusher do if you can't stop anybody up the middle? The Eagles just literally laid out the blueprint of how to beat the Chiefs and win the Super Bowl. And three, Marshall. It's Marshall. Like, I understand the guys make it from other schools. You can't go with the guy from Marshall when he's not even the position's not even your biggest need. Like, as a fan, how are you not pissed about that pick when he might be there in the second round? He could be in the second round. I don't know. I can't live with that pick if I'm a Charger fan. And if I'm wrong, play this clip. I don't care. I'll admit that I'm wrong. Okay. But I just can't see it. This doesn't make sense for me.
All right. Well, let's go to something that does make sense for you. Let's go back and watch you defend your comments with Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to buy you a Marshall jersey.
Extremely trying to buy him either Chad Pennington or Byron Leftwich one. Let's go back to what you said 2 days ago, because this was easily the most reaction we've ever had on this show was your comments about Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert.
Okay, that's fine. I'll talk about that right now. For you guys that are saying, what about edge? What about this? Free agency, okay? I understand we can take players at other positions. If we address these other positions, go with the edge, okay? But up until then, I'm not taking edge the first round. All right, the Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert conversation. It pissed a lot of people off. And I understand why you're pissed off. If somebody called your baby not as good looking as you think it is, you'd be upset. I love Justin Herbert. I think he's great. He looks better throwing the football than anybody else in the NFL. He just hasn't had the resume of Jalen Hurts up to this point. They're in the same draft. They're going to be compared for their entire careers. I'm saying up until this point, Jalen Hurts has had a better career. Would the Chargers trade Justin Herbert for Jalen Hurts? Probably not. I wouldn't do it either. But I don't know how you can argue up to this point, Jalen Hurts has made 2 Super Bowls and won one of them. You wouldn't take his career up to this point over Justin Herbert, who is 0-2 in the playoffs. I understand the teams around him haven't been great, but if you look at it just in black and white, you would take Jalen Hurts' at start of his career over Justin Herbert.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you on it. It's hard.
It's like not even a debate, honestly.
Yeah, you can't say anything anymore. Like, it's the guy has a Super Bowl. You don't. I don't care how good the team was.
It's been a 2.
Yeah. And he had an MVP performance in both.
He outplayed Mahomes in both games.
Yeah.
Look, we all want it to be the other way around. You understand? All 3 of us want it to be the other way around. We'd love to be saying Justin Herbert's 1-1 in Super Bowls, and he wins playoff games every year. We got it. It's not Justin Herbert's fault. I got it. He's not loaded with talent. You know what? That playoff game against the Texans, a lot of it was Justin Herbert's fault. It was. He had one of his worst games of his career. Well, at least by far the worst game in the season. And you know what? I'm sure he's going to come back and be better for it. They have not put a lot around him. I understand they have a million coaches every single year that he gets to learn a new system. Nobody cares. I hate to say it. Nobody cares. When you go to Football Reference, nobody cares when you compare stats. You know what it looks like? You look at the wins. All I know is I didn't fall off a goddamn light pole this week because I was celebrating a Super Bowl championship. Plenty of people in Philadelphia slid right down that pole because they greased them up. I didn't steal a trash truck this week. There are plenty of people in Philadelphia who stole a trash truck this week. I didn't steal a horse from a cop in Philadelphia and ride it down the street screaming in celebration because my team won a Super Bowl. I don't go around spelling Chargers out loud in the middle of public randomly because my team won a Super Bowl. Do you understand the difference? It's all about winning the Super Bowl. And so for this one guy to go to 2 of them, outplay Mahomes, who a lot of people want to say is the GOAT, I don't even understand the conversation. Why you're feeling so hurt on this? We're all Herbert fans. All of us are. All of us want to see Justin Herbert to be that guy. Unfortunately, we can't defend our guy in a fight right now because he doesn't have the resume to compare. And anyone who says anything different, man, I think you guys couldn't be more wrong right now. I hate to say it. It's a stupid argument because if I went to Philadelphia and had this argument, first of all, they'd laugh at me and then they'd beat the crap out of me and leave me in the street. That's what would happen. Nobody would take me seriously in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I wouldn't be talking crap in Philadelphia. It makes me laugh also when people are like, Justin Herbert, he doesn't have any line. He doesn't have a head coach. We need to get Mike Green in the first round. I'm like, oh, really? That's going to help Justin Herbert? Mike Green from Marshall in the first round as an edge rusher? Do the math. If he has nobody to block for him, Dave's favorite saying, do the math. If you have nobody to block for you or catch the ball, how are you going to win? Okay? He needs help. We all know he needs help. Tyler Warren from Penn State, Colston Loveland from Michigan, Tyler Booker from Alabama. These are the types of players that will elevate Justin Herbert's career to that next level. As Charger fans, do you not expect Justin Herbert to win a playoff game in 2025? I do. Do you not, Mario? Is that not the expectation right now? Justin Herbert needs to win a playoff game in 2025.
The expectation was for him to beat the Texans this year, and he didn't. By the way, yeah, the team didn't play well. He didn't play well. We all saw the game. We all said what we said after. That was not one of his best games. I would say it's one of the worst games we've seen him play in a Chargers uniform.
It was.
Just the fact of the matter. And the Texans pass rush was legit. Yeah, they really came out. But who didn't show up was Justin Herbert. And I'm sorry, but that's going to be pinned against him for a very long time until he beats it. Just what it is.
It is.
All right, we got the chat going here. Oh God. Mr. Worry with $5 Canadian says, did those 23andMe Dave results ever come in? Love the show, by the way.
No, I have not received my results. I don't know why. So people to catch them up on what's going on. For Christmas, my wife got herself, me, Josh, and Josh's wife 23andMe, basically to look us up and see what we are and what we could possibly get sick from, of heart disease or cancer or whatever else. Real exciting stuff in there. But it also, all of a sudden, Josh got his results back first, and it said Josh had the body makeup of an elite athlete. Then my wife got hers back, and it said the same thing, the body makeup of an elite athlete. And I'm like, all right, well, the whole time I thought Josh was a really good athlete because of me. So I'm going, okay, well, now that my wife has it, but in all fairness, my wife's brother played in the NFL for the Denver Broncos. So I know there's elite athlete genes in that family. And then Josh's wife gets hers back, and hers says elite athlete too. So I've been kind of stressing out. No joke. Kind of stressing out. If mine does not say it, I'll be extremely depressed. I'm not going to lie. Like I always thought I was the best athlete in the family outside of Josh. And then all of a sudden, if mine does not say elite athlete, I'm going to be really bummed out. Really bummed out.
And this is how you get on gear.
Yeah. And this one girl sent me a thing. She's like 4'11", drinks, 20 beers a night. And hers said elite athlete. I'm like, come on. For what? A jockey? Are you kidding me? Give me a break.
Is she in good shape even though she drinks 20 beers a night?
Good shape. Her hands are so goddamn small. She has to hold a beer with two hands, but she's in good shape.
Like a baby bottle?
She's a Charger fan. She might be listening right now. I know she catches the show.
All right, Young West, $5 says, would Adams come to us? Didn't he trash talk our social media team or something like that? Laugh out loud. I'll take T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, or Davante Adams in that order. What do you think about his order, Mario?
First off, the social media team with the pop-tart, I mean, that was when he was on the Raiders, Chargers. That was a light trash talk. I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. Plus, Chargers have changed a lot since then. It's, lots of new leaders over there. So I don't think you'd care about that anymore. I like that order. I agree with that. Actually, Dave, I think he kind of nailed it. Yeah.
I agree with that as well. Young West is always on top. And so I guarantee Davante Adams, if he became a Charger at the press conference, there'd be a Pop-Tart box right on the podium. He'd make a joke out of it. It's all good. You guys are paying me a ton of money. I'm wearing this uniform. He'd make a joke about it.
I agree with both you guys. And
By
then T.
the way,
Higgins, Garrett Wilson, I'd take either one over Davante Adams.
I did not know until like a year ago that you're supposed to toast Pop-Tarts.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, that was never a thing in my family.
Pop was from when it pops out of the goddamn toaster. What the hell are you talking about?
You're raw dogging them out of the box,
bro. We were raw dogging them since 1998 in Noblesville, Indiana.
Yeah, I raw dog them out of the box too.
We never.
Or I'll throw it
I
in the
never
microwave
thought
for
of it.
10 seconds. No, the Pop-Tart is the popping out of the toaster, dude.
Makes so much more sense now.
I literally would not have said that publicly.
When you learn things like this,
dude, I had no clue. I was at my friend's house in college.
What's your favorite Pop-Tart?
Cinnamon and the strawberry, phenomenal, really good.
Fudge
what
one.
about you
I
guys?
Like the
Fudge one's
like
solid.
The fudge one and people, if you've never had the chocolate Pop-Tart, it's freaking great. The chocolate Pop-Tart, again, throw it in the microwave for 10 seconds. Throw it in ice cream. Break it up and throw it in ice cream. It's great too. The cherry ones I like better than the strawberry, Mara, just because they have more flavor to them. That's
never had the cherry.
And if you don't get the frosted Pop-Tarts, you get the plain Pop-Tarts with the stuff just in the middle with no frosting, you're a psycho. Crazy.
That's like people that get like alcohol with no flavor. I'm like, you're off.
Yeah. You're just trying to get drunk.
Yeah.
When we would grab Pop-Tarts to go, like before school, I remember I was grabbing it one time. I put it on the counter, and I walk back upstairs, and I just see my older sibling just smashing it as hard as he can. I was like, great, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Can't wait to have crumbles for breakfast.
All right.
Your childhood's so sad.
Yeah, it's the saddest childhood. All right. Quell the Gamer, 1999, thank you. Says, this is why I like this podcast. You guys are so honest. People thinking Herbert better than Hurts right now is crazy, delusional, and not being real at all. And it's just he's right. Yeah, it's a fact. You just look at it from an unbiased opinion. Who would most people take so far? It would be Jalen. I'm not saying the future is not pointing in Justin Herbert's direction, but as of right now, it's Jalen.
I wish we were never more wrong than anything than this. I'm sorry, but as of right now, if you compare the resumes, it's night and day.
That's a fair way to put it. I wish we were like really, really off. I hope we're really off.
Yeah, at the end, I'm not saying that it's going to finish this way. I'm saying just right now. This is where it is right now.
All right. Next one comes from Randy. $10 says, when can we start to see things heat up as far as trades and signings are concerned?
Mario, you know the date?
March 15th. No?
I don't know. That's what I'm
Way
asking
off?
Mario. Do you know the date?
Someone just told me it the other day. Let me give you a quick Google.
So
If I hit that on the dot, I'm gonna go nuts. Sorry, go ahead.
no. I hope you're right. It'll be great. So we're looking at, if that's the case, we're looking at about a month away to see a shakeup and when things start happening. Again, the draft's at the very end of April. I don't even have the exact date for the draft, but it's
Damn
the
it.
very end of April. What do you miss it by?
So March 4th, you can clubs can do franchise tags, scouting combine. So honestly, you're gonna hear more rumors when scouting combine starts. That's February 24th through March 3rd. So end of March, you're gonna start hearing more stuff. March 10th through 12th, you can start negotiation period. So that's when stuff's really gonna start heating up, and you're gonna hear more rumors. The official start date is the 12th when you can sign players, but you're gonna hear rumors probably starting around the combine. 3 days off.
Okay.
My God, dude. That was hard.
By the way, I think you went a little too short on the haircut, dude.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was
think
thinking
you
about
went
that
too short.
today. Yeah. Thanks for
know?
that.
Yeah, just my opinion. I mean, we aren't dating or anything. I'm just saying, like, I look at Justin Herbert and I'm like, dude, that's a good length in the hair. You can see why the women like him. Then he goes a little short, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you're still the same guy. Mario, I'm looking at you right now going, I don't know if you're still the same guy.
Yeah, dude,
you look a little young. You look like you're a junior in high school.
I know. I think I put a little too much trust in the Sally, for being completely honest with you. Yeah. I said just a little trim.
Maybe not go back till June. Let it grow out a little bit.
All right, I got a Dave rant. What do we got? Dave rant time.
What did you say?
Dave rant. Yeah, let's go.
All right, here's the deal. I'll go through the quick rant. Something always bothers me. It's not hard for me to find something.
By the way, I didn't even know you had a rant. I just assumed you had a rant.
You just said it, but it's not easy. It's not hard to find something that I'm upset about. I get upset about a lot of things. I got upset right before the show started. I gave the dog one bite of a hot dog. I'm on the phone. I turn around and she threw up everything she ate for the last 2 days. I was like, what the hell? It was one little bite of hot dog. Josh ate 8 of them. He didn't throw up. Good God. So, and then I looked back at her and she's just drooling like Cujo, staring at me. I'm like, God, man, completely messed her up. Anyway, that's not my rant. My rant is it's starting to rain right here in Southern California. Like we get 3 days of rain. It hasn't rained almost the entire year, as you saw by the damage of the fires in San Diego and Los Angeles. People have no desire or confidence on how to drive in the rain. Like, learn. It's not like they act like here it rains for the first time in their life. Nobody knows how to drive. They don't know how to drive when the time changes. When it gets dark, all of a sudden, whoa! I got to turn my lights on the way home from work, and all of a sudden, it takes you 2 hours to get home. But that would normally be a 30-minute drive. And then at the same time in San Diego here, Mario, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Happens every year. The news trucks literally just go and park outside of Fashion Valley Mall in San Diego because there's a stream of water. They call it San Diego River. I'm not joking. It's not even as wide as the street, but people try and drive through it every time it rains. And guess what happens, Mario? Cars get stuck every single time. Hey, guess what, man? We just pull some people out of the cars that got stuck driving through the San Diego River. If you want to call it a river, it's not even a creek. I mean, it's the most embarrassing thing. And there are cones up all the time telling you not to drive through this one area. But man, I've lived here for 35 years and I see it all the time. When I flip on the news tonight, it's going to be all these people getting pulled out of their cars because they got stranded right there in the San Diego River. It makes zero sense to me how dumb people are, especially here in San Diego. In LA, man, they got water problems too, but there's not one area of LA where the same, dumbasses walk through the same area all the time. Look, we live in a goddamn desert. Okay. A dog takes a piss in Southern California. We got a flood. It's just the way it works here. There's nowhere for the water to drain. It's just the way it goes. Frustrating as hell, but it's the same stupid news story every damn time it rains. And here we are. It's February 13th, and this is the first rain we've had, which where you guys are at, you would laugh at it. I mean, you don't even need an umbrella. It's coming down so light. Your hair wouldn't even get messed up. But here we are. People can't figure out what to do when it rains in Southern California. complete mess, embarrassing. Southern California, tough my ass.
I don't think anybody's ever used that phrase.
No one's ever said that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if I've heard that one,
No one's ever said that.
but it's now available at Bolt Crew.
Yeah. Go ahead. Put that on a shirt. Just start using that in every one of your emails saying they are Southern California tough. Watch what people say back to you. Good luck.
I'd lose business. Before we get out of here, I just want to remind you guys all, we're doing a giveaway for the Chargers jersey of your choice. To participate, repost that post on Bolt Crew Pod from our X account, and you'll enter yourself into the giveaway to win the Chargers jersey of your choice. We will be announcing the winner 1 week from today.
Yeah. You guys, by the way, you guys run your mouth one goddamn more time. I'm going to order a Charger jersey, and I'm going to put Hurts on it. I'm just going to make a Jalen Hurts jersey with added with Chargers. What do you think? I'm going to customize it just to piss all of you off. Damn it. Let's get our ass together here. Don't worry about the other guy. Let's worry about ourselves. Come on. Let's focus here.
That'd be funny.
Jeez. All right. We'll be back. I dare someone to get it like a 19 Unitas jersey. Johnny Unitas on the goddamn Chargers is embarrassing as hell. All right. It'd be like a Joe Namath the Rams jersey. We're like, how did that happen? All right. So we're back on. Say that again.
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, dude, that is the weirdest thing to see him go from green and white to blue and yellow in that Rams jersey. Is really weird. Every franchise has that one guy. You're like, what the hell? All right, we'll be back on Tuesday, 1:00, talking Charger football with you. Of course, we'll have more draft predictions as well, free agent stuff, whatever you guys are angry about. Appreciate everyone that joined us again on a Thursday in the rain. Thanks for staying dry with us again. Drive safe, everybody, because you guys are all psychos out there. Do your best you can. Otherwise, for Mario Herron, Josh Pell, I'm Dave Pell. Please like and subscribe to the show. It means everything to us. We'll see you Tuesday.